I'm Becky and this is my story. You know how wonderful it is to get the news that you're going to have a new baby? We already had 2 beautiful girls, and we went and had the ultrasound for our 3rd child. It was a boy. We've been waiting for a little man to join our family. But after 7 months of being pregnant with ups and downs of the normal pregnancy ways, they told me that I needed to abort our son. And at that time, this was in 1992, that special song, Whose Report Will You Believe? At that time, I was playing worship and singing at my parents' church in Cleveland, Ohio. And I remember singing that song so many times, but I always sang it for everybody else. But now it was my turn. And I remember calling Uriel from the doctor's office because my doctor said, you need to abort this child. And I thought, but how? This was God's gift to us. And he said, this child is going to be born underweight. By 2 years old, he will not be able to walk or talk. And he will be born normal. But as time goes on, you will see the difficulties in his learning, his speech, his crawling. He will not develop. And I called Uriel from the doctor's office and I said, what do I do? They're sending me now to the hospital. They want me to get rid of this baby. Our son, and he just stopped midway through the sentence and said, whose report are you going to believe? And I said, oh yeah, I've been singing that song. And I remember like I had this lump here in my throat and I just said, God, I can't sing this song because this was too real. This was happening to me. This wasn't happening to the sister on the other end of my pew. This was me. And I remember laying in that bed and I could feel the tears coming, and I just said, Lord, whose report am I going to believe? I'm going to believe your report. At that time, Uriel walked in and he said, we're not going to have this. This baby's going to be born. This baby is going to be healthy. This baby's going to be strong. And I said, but I don't know. I just don't have that faith. And I remember he started singing the song, and I started singing with him, and that lump that I had in my throat disappeared. And I could just feel the tears of sadness and worry. It was back to the tears of anticipation, waiting to see this little guy. And we decided that day that we were going to have this child. And I remember the next couple, it was about 6, 7 weeks, were very hard because at times when Uriel was there, oh yeah, everything's great. My faith was there. I was singing the song. But at night when I was in bed, everything was quiet. I could hear those voices that would say, you know, he's not going to walk. He's not going to talk. So the night that all the contractions started happening, I just said, I'm not going to the hospital. I just won't do this. I can't do this. And I remember my father being so upset. Get there now. We're not going to deliver this baby here. And so that night I got into the hospital about 11 p.m. and they admitted to me, and you know, that little guy slept all night. And I was just like, wow. This is a gift. This is a gift. Maybe he'll do this afterwards as well. Well, when he woke up 40 minutes later, I was holding him in my arms. And this little guy was 9 pounds, perfectly normal, perfectly healthy. They ran all these tests, but I could, in the back of my mind, still hear the doctor say, but you're not going to notice it when he's born. So as time went on, of course, we took him home. He was a joy. He was into everything. At the year of 2 years, he got on a bicycle and he rode it by himself. No training wheels, ever. Then it went from that to climbing on this, climbing on that. The 2 years, 3 years passed, and he was the same. In fact, he was so advanced. And I said, God, you're so faithful. We believe the report of the Lord. And today I want to tell you, believe the report of the Lord. Because sometimes our faith gets so shaken. And in the world that we're in right now, each one of us has to believe the report of the Lord. In whatever you're facing, whatever you're going through, believe his report, because his report is true. His report is filled with promises, that each one of those promises has been written to you. And I'm here to tell you today that David, is 30 years old. He has a beautiful wife, and I have 3 beautiful grandchildren. And he goes strong. Those of you who know our son, he goes strong. But his testimony is that we believe the